Hey everybody! So excited to be here. I'm doing this so late at night. I've been planning to do this live stream all day, but it hasn't worked out that way. I've had school and then filming and then canceled filming and then, editing and talking to people and things. So I'm also eating popcorn. I'm so sorry. I'm so obnoxious, but I'm really hungry. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. Honestly, I can't even believe that I'm making this video right now. It's just a little crazy to me. I can still remember myself as, starting, was it 2 years ago, and completely being in a different place, not knowing what I was saying, not knowing what I was doing as an actress. And I didn't care too much, but I don't think I imagined it getting to this point, or maybe I did, and I just, it's just happening, I guess. So it's all very cool, very exciting. I'm very thankful, very blessed to have this opportunity. I do want to say really quick, more for myself than for anyone else, that this commercial, as awesome as it is and as thankful as I am, hasn't changed me. I'm saying this more for myself, because I know you guys probably know this, but it hasn't changed me as an actress or, changed my goals or what I want to do with my life or anything. I'm still the same person. I still want to do YouTube videos. I still want to make things and create things, and this is awesome and this is spectacular, but I don't want this to derail me from what I'm thinking about. So just letting you guys know what's on my mind as I do this video. But yeah, a lot of people have been asking me, what's the commercial about? How did you get started with it? And if you guys know, I did do 2 live streams on it. I did one on my Instagram and one on my Facebook, but here you guys are going to get to know the full story, all the details, what it was like on set, everyone was like, all the things. I'm going to try to cram this into 30 minutes. So wish me luck. Okay, so how I got the job, and this is why something I tell you guys, you guys are going to watch this and be like, oh, I need to get an agent right now, blah, 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 blah. No. I think that what you should do is, if you don't have an agent, it's still fine. You might not get opportunities like this, but you'll still get to act and do awesome things. So people think that, oh, just because you need an agent to get certain, why I'm saying this is confusing, but let me just go on with what I'm saying. So my agent, she emailed me December 20th and was like, hey, this client, this local producer for Muaaaa, which is the name of the company, is producing this short, their past 2 shorts. Here are the links to their past 2 shorts, and like, this is the stuff that they've done. And I clicked on it and I was like, what? And the crazy thing was, like, it wasn't like, oh, here's an audition for you, or here's an opportunity for you to audition for. It's like, this person is interested in you. And for me, that just felt crazy. So that was super cool. And I was very excited. Then, but I also was kind of like, well, this is really huge, and I would be so thankful to have this, but I also know that this is, whatever. So I put it out of my mind. About, what was it? I think 2 weeks later, she emailed me out of the blue randomly. She just asked for my dates and when I was available. She emailed me and was like, hey, are you available? Are you still available at these times? Because they want to move forward with you. But it's changed. Instead of filming on 1 day, they want to film on 2 days and stuff like that. Whew, like, mind blown. At this point, I still didn't know it was a Super Bowl. I just knew it was like this really huge thing and being paid and working with this guy who's super cool. I was just like beyond thankful. Like, this was crazy. So I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm totally gonna do this. So she emailed me once with everything in it, the name, the place, all the people who were in it, the camera guys, and all that stuff. Being me, of course, I Googled everybody and I found them, because I just do that. I'm a little obsessive like that. But I suggest you guys do that. It's a random thing. I'm gonna go off on a tangent, trying to stay focused. So, filming day. We drove about 40 minutes to a place in the city. It was originally Forest Park, which is a park where I live. But the But it was actually really, really good. My mom, she's smart. So they said location TBD. So we're on our way to Forest Park. We called because they said TBD, so we didn't know where to meet. So I asked my agent for the guy's number, and we called him, and he said, well, whoops, we're not meeting at Forest Park. We're meeting at this other location. So it was a very smart idea. So another tip, if you guys don't know where you're going, check in with your agent. Do that. Listen to your mom. She's always smart. Anyway, we did that, and we went to this house. He gave us a new address and everything. So went to this lady's house, and I think we were the first ones there. I had like this huge thing of clothing because I always bring up so much clothing. So we were the first ones there. We went in, and she was super nice. She showed us, she gave us one of her rooms for me to just dress up in and everything. And so I got dressed in the room upstairs, and then I came back down. And by then, like, the director was there, a whole bunch of other people had come in. So there's 3 other girls in the commercial with me, and I can actually show you guys a picture, which I don't think I posted it on social media, but you guys are my lucky friends, and you get to see it. So these other girls were supposed to be like my best friends in the show, and so they were there. All 3 of them. This is something I want you guys to pay attention to. All 3 of them came. Sorry. Without auditioning. So all of us basically came through our connections. And I think that's the thing that I think I'm learning now in the acting industry, is that a lot of it doesn't have to do with, oh, the right audition or the right talent. A lot of it has to do with connections, because these people are all connected to other people in the company. And so that's why sometimes it is just luck or whatever that gets you opportunities like these. Just a random fact. Oh, so here it is. I don't know if you guys can see them. This is, I think, whoops. Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't make sure it was, didn't want it to be something that you guys couldn't see. But yeah, that was us on set. So I think what I first did was I went to the makeup lady, literally the sweetest lady in the world. Like, if I could meet with, like, she's so sweet. So she sat there, she did my makeup. I talked to her a little bit about things. I talked to her about, you know, when she started makeup and all that stuff. And I actually came with my own makeup face, which shouldn't have done, but like usually most places don't have a makeup lady. So I always just do it, but I just did it really natural. So she just, you know, touched it up, did a little bit more eyeliner, did some things to make it look better and smoother. Really, really cool. She's really good at her job. And then I also talked to one of the girls. I talked to her while I was like sitting in the chair, like literally, like, I had a chair and, you know, sat in the chair, and I just sat there and she did my makeup, like real production life stuff. Like, this was cool. And then I left, and the other girls got their makeup done. And then, okay, I don't know why, but I have this fear, because if you guys haven't seen it, my bad experiences film, I'll link it below. But basically, one of the commercial shoots I went to, it was a film shoot. They got my role wrong. It's a long story. Watch the video. But instead of me playing the lead, I was playing the sidekick. So I have this irrational fear now. And so, like, the entire time I was so worried that I wasn't actually playing the lead in this super freaking awesome commercial, but apparently I was. So what they did was they started asking around, because one of the scene that was coming up next, they needed girls who could drive. And so they're like, hey, you know, can you drive? They asked me first, obviously, because I'm supposed to be driving. Duh. And I was like, no. They're like, okay, do you have a permit? And I was like, no. That, I don't know. I could have gotten my permit, but I didn't because I was lazy over winter break, but I just didn't want to. And so they're like, oh, this is going to be a little bad. So they asked around some of the other girls, and apparently only one of them can drive, and they I guess stylistically they didn't want her to drive. So basically, there was, all of us were like 15, 16. None of us could drive. So they were like, ooh, okay, that's not so good. But then I just kind of brushed it off. They went back. And so what happened next? I think then it was basically time for the scene. Like, we just basically got thrown into the scene. So I had this huge jacket on over my white sweater. So he gave us this like this bag full of like random stuff, and he's like, all right, just have fun, be yourselves, be natural. After, no, sorry, first they read the whole script to us so we could get the idea. Then the director was like, okay, hey, you know, just run out, have fun, play with all these things, and just like act like teenagers. And I was like, okay, first of all, I have never seen teenagers do this, but I mean, I can pretend. It was scary because so basically he said, okay, I'm gonna come knock and go, and then that's your signal to come. Scary. Because he knocked the first time, I don't think we went. The second time, that's when we went out. And I didn't even know which way to go, so I came out. You guys have seen the clip. The second clip is from when I did it the second time. So I came out from the gate, and I go down, and there's like all these cameras there, like just watching. And I have to pretend like none of them are there and start opening up packages. Like all of these things were still in packages. So I had to start like opening up packages and like throwing things around. So basically, like us and the girls, we just started bringing the ribbon all the way around and like opening up balloons and like laughing and pretending to have fun. And I was honestly so scared inside, but I was like, okay, Marie, you're a professional here. You're probably the most experienced on set. Like, I'm not doing this like boost myself up and be like, oh my god, I was the most experienced on set. Like, yes, but like, no, you're a professional and you have to act like you know what you're doing. So I did my best. I acted like I was having fun and natural. And I kind of tried to be a leader, quote unquote. Not a leader, but like do things and maybe the other girl would follow. And I think that kind of helped with the whole thing. Just basically not act like I was lost or I needed the directors to save me or tell me what to do, because you know I'm a natural. I can get this. And so then I changed I took off my jacket, and they said, okay, well, you can't wear your sweater like that. So I had to go change into a whole new shirt. And that's the shirt that you see in the commercial, is the peach shirt, which is actually not my shirt. Fun fact, it's the other girl's shirt, because my mom had taken my clothes. And so I didn't have a way to get to them. So she let me borrow her shirt, which is, thank you so much. It was so nice. That was also the girl in right there. So yeah, anyway, super nice. She's awesome. I love talking to her. After that, after we did that like 2-3 times, we just went around, played with things, threw things on the car, drew on the car, all sorts of crazy stuff. Then we went back inside, I believe. And then we came back, oh yeah, we went back inside and we had these like delicious like little oyster cracker things. But I digress. I'm trying to get to the fun stuff in the story really fast. So let me take a sip of water. Then we came back inside and we did the part where you see us taking the selfie next to the car. So they had us like organize. I love that it's organized and get into selfie formation. And then we pretend like we were taking, or who was it? Was it one of the girls? I don't want to say their names, so I'm not going to say any names here. So she took the selfie. And then they gave us this pen to draw on the car. I didn't know, like, there's an angle in the commercial where they're like filming me through the window. I didn't know there was a camera there. They're like cameras hidden. Anyway, I can't say like all the little details and things that we did, even though I want to, just because I know this is gonna take forever. So basically, that was super fun. I always am worried about like my camera angles. This sounds so vain, but I'm always worried about like, hey, does my hair look okay? Does my shirt look okay? Or does my scarf, because that scarf that I had was like literally the worst. Like if you look really closely, it's hanging on me awkwardly. And I did not know how to put it on or wear it. I'm just glad that it looks okay in the commercial. But things like that, because there's a commercial, the Avani commercial that I did, like literally like my shirt is hanging off like this. And I'm like, yeah, and they don't really pay attention to that stuff sometimes, so I have to make sure to stay focused. Just a random thing. So afterwards, they're like, okay, after we filmed those 2 scenes, which are like the first 2 scenes that you see me in the commercial, where, no. First you see me getting my keys, and then you see me in those scenes. So then they're like, okay, hey, Mom, you know, how do you feel about your daughter learning to drive? And she was like, can Marie learn to drive? And I was like, Mother, I'm so like literally so offended. She's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not so worried about her, but I'm more worried about your car. And I was like, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. But eventually she was just okay with it. So we decided to go to this place in Forest Park, or not Forest Park, somewhere. and teach me how to drive. And this is like literally my favorite story to tell you guys. So we almost got lost, like we got pretty much lost going there. So what we did was we called the guy, and then he explained how to get there. It was really confusing. I'm just glad we made it there because this other lady was following us, and with the other two girls, and it was just really confusing. So what happened was we got there. Basically, right away, I went into the other guy's car and started. He was like, okay, this is the brake, this is the gas, this is the go, this is all that stuff. And so he said, who'd be like, first head straight, just gently press on the accelerator. And guys, okay, listen. I learned to drive on a film set. I don't know, maybe it's just cool to me. I thought it was really cool. Sorry, this is taking forever, I know, but I have so much to tell you guys. Okay, so he's like, okay, pressing the accelerator, and I just started going slowly. It's like, okay, turn here, and I freaked out. I'm like, you want me to turn? I literally did not sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this, but I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do it. So I started turning. He was like, okay, that's good. Turn a little faster because I wasn't about to make it, and then I made it. I was like, okay, I want you to go in between these two things. And so I drove, was basically just driving around while they were all watching, and he was in the car, and it was scary. And then finally we came back around, and he was like, okay, I want you to park. Literally probably the worst parking I've ever done or seen, but at least I parked and I didn't crash the car because he had an inch into the curb. When these are the two lines that you see, and this was my car, like on a line. And it was even like turned a little bit. And I kept on like inching forward because I didn't know where the curb was. But afterwards, like everyone clapped and I was like, oh my gosh, you were driving, it's so cool. It's for my mom, she wasn't impressed, you know. And then I basically just started driving. So I hopped into this other lady's Jeep, and she was the makeup lady. That's her car that we're driving in. And so I'm driving, I'm sitting in the front seat, and then she is sitting in the seat next to me, but you don't see her. They took so many clips and things that you guys don't see, and it's like that was literally 2 days of filming for a 1 minute commercial. Like 2 days of filming, footage, like a whole bunch of different footage, and you guys don't even see half of it, which is sad, but it's okay. So she's sitting next to me, and so I took the Jeep around and started driving. I drove a lot. I drove like 20 minutes, and he was filming the entire time. It was really scary. It was also really fun. And they were super nice about helping me. So they'd be like, okay, turn here. Okay, turn faster because you're about to hit the curb. Okay, and then slow down because I would turn the wheel so much, and then I'd have to like turn it back really fast. And there were a couple of times I braked a little fast and like, you know, kind of scared the makeup lady. I felt so sorry. And also the camera guy, but I mean they were pretty cool, very, very sweet. Like I feel like they were so nice and supportive about me driving their car and almost crashing it maybe a couple of times, and driving around a pole and in between things and all around the place and stuff like that. And so that was really, really cool. And it's funny because like the only times I turned to look at the girl in the seat was like twice, and so that's the only time like he got that shot, and that's what he really wanted. He's like, yeah, selfishly as a camera person, that's what I want, but it's okay because I know you're driving. And that's literally the only part he used. Anyway, just a random fact. So yeah, that was that part. And so finally we came back. What did we do after this? And then we went to the diner, and that's the diner scene. And so let me pull up my notes because I know I wrote down like a whole bunch of stuff for you guys. And I don't think I want to split this into a part 2, but I'm gonna keep on going. Okay, so then we went to the diner, and the diner is where we change into our varsity like volleyball outfits. We're supposed to be part of a volleyball team, and hold on. Pull our hair up and we sit, and the director like he told the 2 other girls that they were just supposed to come on their own, and that was going to happen. And then they had this part where I was eating, so we got to order our food. They asked us what food we wanted, and they paid for it. It was all on them, not the parents who were there, but us. It was, first of all, it was freezing cold, just a random fact, and we were sitting in these not in the diner, but outside of the diner. And I was running back from my car to the diner to like get a ponytail, get some makeup, do random things. And it was freezing cold. And the shorts that they had were like basically like the shorts I have on now. But then I was doing this part where I was eating ketchup. I was eating fries and I was spraying my fries with ketchup. And the camera guy kept on wanting me to like spray it over and over. So by the time we were done, my fries were completely soaked with ketchup. It was crazy. So we filmed that scene about, it was about 2 hours we were there. Mainly just us sitting, eating, laughing, talking, taking so many freaking selfies. Like so many selfies, crazy faces, and I think I can show you guys a few of them. Maybe if I can find them. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So these were some of the selfies that we took. Again, exclusive images that you guys get to see. So we took this and this, mainly the same thing. These are the ones I sent to myself. We took a lot more than this. It was about 40 pictures. Yeah, this was so much fun. I got to talk to the girls and see them and interact with them. It was really, really cool. And basically that was day 1 of filming. At the end, the camera guy, he let us like hold his camera, which was freaking heavy. It was super cool. Everyone was super nice. So yeah, went to sleep. The next day, my call time was 10. Ooh, and this is the part where it kind of gets a little exciting, because first off, when I got there, it was like it was really cold, but I don't know. I say random facts like that, but like it was like 1 hour into coming, and basically the executive producer of the company came and started supervising the filming, and he introduced himself to me, and I was like, what? So basically, of course, I freaked and I was like super like gushy and like, oh, it's so cool to meet you, because I'd read some of his articles after researching the company, and he was super cool, very nice guy. He was very cool with talking with everybody and everything. He's the one you see in the I'll link it below when he gets interviewed by Fox 2 News, because yeah, Fox 2 News showed up, you know, just casually. They showed up and began like filming the whole behind the scenes process and everything, which was crazy. And I kept waiting on them to ask to interview me, but they weren't too interested in interviewing me, which is surprising. But yeah, they interviewed like almost everyone on set. So the second day on set was a little bit crazier. We went to a different house to film, and this is where we filmed my mom scene. So she was already there, set up. They're already positioning her. It took them like literally like 3 hours to set up that room. Like there's a part where the director goes in, puts in a frame like a picture of me, takes it out, switches it, like puts in like all these little different things. Like it took them forever to set up that scene. But if you saw the behind the scenes, it was really cool. It had the stand, so you could see where they were filming, like what they were filming, and as they were setting it up, they had this really huge screen so you could watch it. And then there they had this dolly, so the guy could like, you know, move it down and everything. They had all these lights. It was super cool. It was like a high quality like production, like everything. It was very, very cool. And the writer of the script was there, the executive producer of the company, the director, all the co-director people, the mic guy who wasn't there before, he was there because he didn't need mic before. Some writers, some advertising people, and then Fox 2 News and my mom. And so there's like a whole bunch of people crammed in this kind of kitchen. There's the lady who owned the house and her son, and they were super duper nice. She like offered me, she was like, do you want hot cocoa? Do you want blankets? Because I was shivering and cold, and she was so nice. So yeah, I was basically on set, not doing anything for about 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, because we filmed till like 2. And she filmed, the lady who you see talking, she filmed till like 2. And God bless her, because she had to sit and say that line, those lines, like different sections of those lines and the whole thing, like about 47 takes. So there's like some takes of her just saying certain parts, some takes of her saying the whole thing 47 times. She sat there for 2-3 hours saying the same monologue, and that's the kind of dedication that I admire. Like I admire that so much. She showed up on set, she was ready, she was like emotional, she was like in character, in zone. It was amazing. So if you guys don't know her, I'll link her below. She's like an acting teacher. She does college, I think she does college plays. So yeah, she's really, really cool. Super nice, and looks like me, which is, I guess, which is pretty cool. Everyone's like, oh yeah, you actually kind of look like her, which is interesting. And so she was very dedicated, very focused, and you could tell that even when she was tired, she was still giving it her all. And that's something else that I learned from being on set, which was that, like, when you're an actual actor and you're dedicated and you're focused, like, there's gonna be times on set where you're tired and you don't really have more to give, but you have to keep on punching it out. You have to be there, emotionally ready, memorized with your lines, ready to say it like it's brand new every single time you take a take. Like, you can't get tired. You have to have stamina. And this lady had stamina like you wouldn't believe. So that was amazing. It was also probably like owed to the fact that she brought a salad to eat after she was done. Like, they ordered sandwiches and like garlic bread and this really, really bad like carb-filled diet for everyone else to eat. She brought a salad. Just throwing that out there. So yeah, after she filmed her scene, like, God bless her heart, so many times. I'm gonna make sure I'm not forgetting anything. After that, that's when we filmed the scene that's when we filmed my scene. And also, I just want to say, like, you could tell that, like, these people were very, very knowledgeable on composition and filming and everything, and that's also something that I definitely aspire to be. So then it was time for my turn, and so I kept on trying to like convince the director to let me wear my overalls. Like, not convince them, but like I had them out and I was like, hey, you know, this is something a teen would wear, but he didn't like it because it was all black. So that was unfortunate. I love overalls, if you didn't know that about me, so I really wanted them to be in the commercial, so I could just be like, hey, look at my overalls in the commercial, but it didn't make it on set. So first they set me up in the bedroom for the dead scene. And at first, they had a hard time relaxing my face because I guess, like, when you're dead, you have to look completely dead. So I'm taking off my glasses so you can see. So you can't just, like, close your eyes and, like, not move your face because, see, my eyes are fluttering and, like, my facial expressions my muscles are still being used. You have to be completely relaxed, if you guys can see the difference. And so I was still really, really tense. So the makeup lady had to like literally smooth her hand and like massage my face. Again, she was so nice, and just to get me to relax. So they stayed there about 30 minutes, maybe, positioning me, trying to get the frame and the composition and things like that. And I just had to kind of pretend like I was falling asleep. It's hard. It's actually a lot harder to pretend to be dead than you'd think. Which is surprising because your eyes can't like move. You have to be completely still. And so finally, after they were done, they had me leave, and she went to go do my makeup and my zombie look, I guess, which is my dead look. And I'm going to show it to you guys in a second because, first of all, this shows you how talented she was in getting me to look dead. And like, I thought it's being dead, you just had to like look dead. Like, no, she actually made me look like. It was pretty scary, and it was also really interesting. So I'm trying to find it here. So this was, yeah, university. Yes, here we go. So this is picture 1 of me. So you see me now, me there, where she put like dark stuff on my eyes and all that stuff, like completely making me look like I was dead. And then you can't see it as well here, but this is picture 2. And that was the house that we were in. And so you guys can like see like how much, you don't really get that in the show, but like that's what it looked like. So then they had me go back and they had to try to reposition me exactly like I was before, which is hard. And the worst thing is that I felt like I had to pee so bad, but like I couldn't say anything. And so people kept on coming up to me and being like, hey, are you okay? You don't look okay. And I was like, it's a little cheesy, but you know, I get it. They laid me down in the same position, but this time it was like actually like a lot more uncomfortable. Like the way that they positioned, like they wanted my arm to be flat and stuff like that. And then he also kept trying to relax my hands. So I don't know if you guys know this, but naturally my hands are like this, relaxed. This is what my hands look like, relaxed. And apparently, this is not normal. This is like a martial artist thing. Like if you do a lot of punching, because I do martial arts, your fists, your hands naturally relax like this. So he kept on trying to smooth out my hands to relax. But you see, as soon as I smooth them out, like they immediately curl back. So I literally had to like, it was weird. So the second time during the actual filming, I actually started falling asleep. Like I was actually getting deep into a sleep. So they got the takes that they needed. They switched some things around and did different things. And then the guy was like, all right, you know, I think it's time for these special effects. And he had mentioned these special effects like earlier before, but I was like, oh, I don't really get it. You know, what's special effects? I thought this is a special effects. So apparently by special effects, he means making me look like I'm foaming at the mouth. And that was the most interesting part of my filming experience. So in order to make it look like I'm foaming at the mouth while I'm dead, and like actually make it look like I'm throwing up, what they did was the lady scooped like a spoonful of baking soda while I'm dead and poured it to my mouth like this. And then what she did was she poured Sprite into my mouth, and so it would start to foam and bubble. And so while being dead and laying down, I would have to push it out and let it drip onto my face. But I had to still look dead. And that, it sounds simple, but it's actually a little harder because first of all, I had to figure out how to like push the baking soda with my tongue while not breathing, because you can't breathe, you can't let your stomach come up and down, while not fluttering, while being completely relaxed and still letting it come out. And like having all these cameras on you and things like that, it was scary. And so they did it a couple of times. By the time we were done, like my shirt was completely soaked, the blanket was soaked, my hoodie was stained, you know. They're like, okay, well, this is good, but they didn't quite get the shot that they wanted. And so the makeup lady was like, you know, you don't have to keep on, if you don't have to do it again if you don't want to. And I was like, you know, totally, you know, I'm gonna do like what obviously, like I'm gonna do what it takes to get the shot that we need. So it's like, yeah, no, sure, I'm totally up for doing it again. And you can tell the director was like really happy. And so even though I acted like I was happy about it, and I was like, this isn't my favorite thing to do, but you know, it's not the worst thing. I'm just thankful to be here. So they're like, okay, sure. So they did it again. This time, I don't know what they changed. I can't quite remember. But I think we did it the first time and it didn't quite work. And then we did it a second time, and then the third time was like the perfect shot. Like, this is it. This is where we got what we needed. So yeah, that was basically it. I think they were really happy. I'm glad they did an amazing job making it look like, you know, I was like so impressed with everyone's talent, skill, and from the makeup lady to the camera person to the audio person. So yeah, then we filmed the scene where I get my license, and we just basically ad-libbed that scene. There's a whole scene that we ad-libbed there that you guys didn't even get to see. And if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? I'm gonna link it below, or check on my channel, like scroll down to my channel and you'll see it. There's a whole scene that we ad-libbed about me asking my mom for the car keys. I was like, hey mom, can I get some car keys? And she's like, yeah, sure. What are the rules? And I'd be like, the rules are no texting and driving, things like that. Phone has to be left in the glove compartment. Like, there's this whole thing that you guys didn't get to see. But finally, we finished that scene, and then we filmed the last scene, which also didn't make it in the commercial, which is where I'm walking and I'm saying, bye mom, okay, love you, and she's like trying to yell all these rules at me, and to make sure I stay safe. Literally though, okay, there was a patch of ice, so what I did was I had to walk out and like turn down the driveway, but then every time I walked, I would step on this slick patch of ice and almost fall. So they had to have one of the guys stand there, so just to make sure that I didn't fall. And then the director had to show me quite a couple of times because I didn't quite get what he was looking for at first. He didn't want me, I was basically turned the wrong way the entire time. And that's the other thing about acting and camera angles and things, is like, it's not just acting, or it's not just being on set. You also have to like watch your camera angles. So I can act in real life, you would act a certain way, facing a certain way with your mom, but with acting on set, the camera has to capture your facial expression. So I have to turn in a sort of unnatural way or turn earlier, or just keeping like little choreography things in mind to make sure that the camera captures what is needed. And those are like certain things that like you don't notice when you're watching it, but you notice when you're acting in it. And it's just the stuff that I've learned from what I've been doing. So it was really, really interesting to learn that. And I didn't get it, I definitely didn't get it right the first few times. You know, I think the director was getting just a little frustrated because the lady had to leave at 5 and I was still trying to catch up and get it. But I was like, okay, let's focus, let's understand this. And so I eventually got it. But then, you know, it never made it to the scene. And so, yeah, that was basically like the full story, like all the details on the filming. I found out on set the first day that it was going to be in the Super Bowl, and I literally freaked. And that's where I kind of was like, oh my gosh, this thing is so much huger than I thought it was. And it almost made me really, really nervous, because before I wasn't too nervous about it, but then I realized this is going to be in the Super Bowl, like this has to be good. And that made me a lot scared, more scared. So I just want to say something, just my 2 cents. Like, how do I feel now about being in the Super Bowl? Like, well, my regional Super Bowl, clarification. Honestly, like, you'd think you'd feel like so elated and so excited, and this is something you've been waiting for years, and this is amazing, and like not a lot of people get to do this. I feel super thankful, but having a commercial in the Super Bowl is like just like a thing, you know? It's just like, okay, this is cool. It got shown in this place, and it's just something that happened. Just more people notice it, and more people talk about it. And I think a lot of us, me included, do acting subconsciously, or maybe we want subconsciously, like Disney, or we want fame or whatever, because we feel like, oh, it's just going to be really, really cool, and it's going to make us so much happier. And yes, I'm so much happier. I'm not so much happier that I've achieved this, or I'm not so much more fulfilled. I'm not even so much more popular. Like, you think I'd be more popular because I have a commercial in the Super Bowl. Like, no, my life as a whole hasn't really changed. It was just something really, really good happened. And so I think we think like, oh, if I'm on Disney, then my whole life will be amazing and everything's going to be amazing. It's just going to be amazing. And it is amazing, but it's not like out of this mind spectacular. It's honestly the anticipation that makes it the most. So I think, one, we can't look at other people who are in these things and be like, whoa, you're just so much more amazing than everyone else and everything, because it's just a thing, you know? You're just on Ant Farm, you know? I'm just in this commercial, and the next day, you know, I could not be. And the next day, I'm not doing it to be in the Super Bowl. I'm doing it because I like commercials and I like acting, and I love being on set, and I love cameras and all that stuff. So I think that's one thing we should pay attention to. And two, like, yeah, exactly, just do it because you love it. And I think another thing, just sort of unrelated, is that like, I want this to sort of be like an inspiring moment for you guys. Like, I did this, like, literally, like, I live in, well, I can't really say it, but like, I live like where there's like nothing. Like this is not a glamorous life. This is not, oh, she's so lucky. This is not this. I mean, I am lucky. This happened out of luck, but this can totally happen to you too. I don't want it to be like, oh, she's here and I'm here and I can never achieve this. I didn't think I could do this. I just went after it, you know, and I didn't think about it too much. And that's what I want you guys to do. Don't think so much about it. And I don't think, oh, well, I don't have an agent, I don't have a manager, I don't have all this stuff. You don't need all that stuff. Just start small. Start where you are. Start with acting classes. That's where I started. Start with theater. That's where I started. I'm not any different from you guys. I didn't, you know, come out of the womb singing and dancing or whatever, you know? And I think that you guys can all do this too. So thank you guys so much for watching. Those of you who are still here at the end, I appreciate you so much. And I love the fact that I can talk to people and they actually listen. And I'm very glad to be here. And I think that this, through it all, has taught me that you guys are literally the best. You guys have been so supportive on my YouTube channel and things about my commercial and everything that I do. And I do this mostly because of you guys. So thank you. I hope that we can continue. We can definitely continue on to do bigger and better things, and I want to take you guys along with me. Okay, so with that, I'm going to stop talking. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao.